Hey friends, it's another late one. As you can see by the dim, I think I'm just mood lighting myself to let you know that it's late. So you feel what I'm feeling as I record my video posts. That I'm not quite gonna get enough sleep. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and think, what was I doing? I had this, for anybody who hasn't caught up with my posts, I'm in Utah, um, Draper, Utah, which is right outside Salt Lake City, for the Intermountain Suzuki String Institute, where my daughter is attending as a violinist. And we had day 2 today. And I had this fantasy going into this that it would be nice early nights because, I'm the only parent here. My wife left yesterday. I'm here for the next 6 days with my daughter on our own. I thought, she's going to go to bed at her usual time, and then I'll just go to bed right after that. Well, for a variety of reasons, her bedtime seems to have shifted later by about 2.5 hours. So now it's a different animal. But this evening, she knows how to milk it because she wanted to learn her music for choir. Then she wanted to learn key signatures, and then she wanted to practice her violin. So she knows the right things to request if she wants to keep her father awake. She knows the things that will get him to have a really hard time saying, no, we have to stop now and go to bed. So, she's figuring that out. And today was an incredible day. I mean, an incredible day. It was day 2, so she kind of knew what she was getting into in some for most of her classes. A couple of them had changed. One of them was new today, and one of them we changed from yesterday's class. 2 of them were new today, actually. But it was like watching, the thing is, I've had this, my feeling the whole time, or at least, in the lead up to this, was like, well, she's so young, and how's she going to respond to all this? And I have this parental response when I see her sitting in a class and either like not paying attention or kind of like not fully participating, or doing whatever she does to distract herself, to kind of keep herself occupied, and it takes her kind of out of the class. And I've been in group classes with her before, and I've seen there's a certain kind of tendency she's had, and also she's almost always been the one of the youngest, if not the youngest in the class, usually the youngest in the class. So today, and this is almost like, this is, for me, this entire workshop, this entire camp is like a master class in coping with that feeling, and most of the time learning to ignore that, not worrying about it. So I did a little of that practice today. And then somewhere in the second half of the day, I watched her start walking into classrooms, walking up to new kids who were like a whole head taller than she was, and just saying hi, asking them what they're playing, talking about the experience they're having. It was like watching her become like a new kind of social animal in the space of a day. It was amazing. It was just amazing. And I and then this evening to have started doing stuff that really is kind of on task for the work we needed to do. We needed to practice her choir music. We needed to practice her violin stuff. In fact, we've only done a fraction of all of the homework we've been assigned. I mean, I don't know when these people expect us to be practicing because it's like they go 9 to 5 every single day. And in my daughter's case, she's 5. So it's like, what are the expectation that like she's going to also practice for 4 different classes is like, okay, this is a lot. But it also sort of was possible this evening. It was sort of like, oh, we'll just do that. And we got into this zone where I felt like she was kind of leading the practice in a way, at least leading the intention behind it. She's also good. She caught me on a couple of things, like we're reading the choir music and I missed a couple of things, and she was like, no, it's like this, and like pointed to the music, and I was like, oh, you're right. How are you doing this? You're 5, you barely read words and you almost barely read music. How are you correcting me right now? So so I'm watching that little level of consciousness just go just ratchet up. So all of that is such a thrill. I mean, I just can't even, I can hardly put words to it because, that's why I'm up past 10 o'clock and was lured into that because there was an endless enthusiasm for the work we're doing. I also watched her today go out. Her grandmother gave her a little like Nerf frisbee thing. We went out and threw that around today. She learned how to throw a frisbee and she was doing pretty well. She's winging the thing. It's like, it's almost like she just goes into like this turbocharged mode of, I'm going to learn this now. Now I'm going to learn this. Now I'm going to learn this. It's like this ravenous appetite for new stuff and for new skills, for new kind of like challenging skills. Endless appetite. And I guess I'm having a really good time. I'm having a really good time. And if I keep coming back to my intention, you know, to help her have a really positive experience here, that's my job. That's my job. And the thing is, I think I said this in my post yesterday, but musical excellence is the byproduct of music, of a love of music, a love of practice, a love of learning, a love of expression. And so it's like, water those seeds. Don't worry too much about the music itself. I, being a musician myself, and being a pretty, I'd say in some ways intense or detail oriented, I can get pretty enthusiastic about getting something just right. And that's something that has come to me in my practice. as being important and being of value and a virtue and a something that really nourishes me. And I think in many ways I serve my students by holding that, by understanding that, and by putting that out there as a possibility for anybody I'm working with, including my daughter. But that's also not that orientation towards that level of excellence and detail and clarity and cleanliness is a is the product of my enthusiasm. That's what it comes from. It doesn't. I don't. It's not something that you can drill into someone. It's not something that anybody could ever drill into me. I didn't find it until I could find it via enthusiasm. So that's where we have to be careful as teachers and as mentors. Is we want to water the seeds of that enthusiasm and present the possibility of the excellence, but we don't want to push the excellence. That's the wrong thing. That's the thing that's going to feel difficult to scale. It's the mountain that's going to feel difficult to scale unless the person is like, I want to climb a mountain. Where's the next mountain? Where's the next hill? What's the next handhold? Okay. And then and before you know it, they're just like ravenously devouring all of the steps they need to climb the mountain. But you can't, but if you put the if you make the mountain the thing, it makes it look very difficult and not that fun. So she had a phenomenal teacher today. Really, I mean, one of the best group teacher I've ever seen by bar none. Taught her last class of the day today. It was a new class. And so when I watched somebody like that, he was like adding physical comedy, and it was like a Victor Borga for violin. And also a fantastic teacher. I mean, just so great. Such a truly like peak pedagogue. So watching that was inspiring. I was like, oh yes, this is the level I want to be around. This is the level I want to be at. This makes me more enthusiastic about the work I do. So in many ways, that was very cool. So that's where I am today, folks. That's day 2. We'll see. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll report back. Hopefully it won't be quite as late when I do so. But we're using our time well. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.